Sometimes the idea of even getting started with your tax return can feel really daunting. So in this video, I'm going to try and make it a lot easier for you. You have several options on how to file your tax return, and I'm going to walk you through several of them. We're going to use the same example that we used in our last video for Mrs. Needs to File Her Taxes. And so if you haven't seen the first two videos in this series on taxes, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link below for all of the videos in this series. The first video, I walk through some forms and definitions, so I highly recommend you watch those first two videos first and then come back to this video, and then we can file our tax return together along with Mrs. Needs to File Her Taxes, who is a fictional character, by the way, if I needed to say that. Hi, my name is Adrina. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrina, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today. I'm so looking forward to showing you how to use some of these free tools that you can use in order to file your tax return, especially if you don't have a lot going on and it's really easy. You're gonna find out how to do it, and you're gonna realize that it's much easier than you had imagined it to be. I think a lot of times we kind of make things a little bit bigger than they actually are, when all we have to do is just focus, get down to it, and get the work done. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through several ways on how you can file your tax return. But first, the disclaimer. This video is meant for entertainment purposes only. This is not tax advice. Consider this general info I learned along the way, and consider this my opinion. Please always consult a tax professional for your specific tax situation, for your specific tax advice. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm going to walk you through a few websites that is going to be helpful for you. These are resources that Mrs. Needs to File Her Taxes, or she'll be able to review and use when she's ready to file her tax return. This means she has all her documents in a row and ready to go. So the first one that I wanted to point in her direction is that the IRS actually has a website full of resources that you can file your federal taxes for free. Some of these options do include states, so it will take a little bit of due diligence on your part to figure out which one is going to be the best one for you. So now this is actually only, this top part here is talking about 2021. So if you're watching this beyond May 17th, 2021, it's not really going to apply to you. I don't think, maybe it will still be there, but I'm not really sure. But if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that the IRS has a couple of options here based on your income. So most of us are going to fall into this category here, which is the income $72,000 and below. So there are free federal tax filing on an IRS partner site. There's state tax filing. Some of them offer the free filing. There's also guided preparation, and then the online service does all the math for you. So there's more information here if you're interested in more information, but when you click on this button here, choose an IRS free file offer, this is the screen that will pop up. Now, according to this screen, you have a couple of options. So you can browse for yourself all of the options. You can use this tool that they have. It's an IRS free file online lookup tool. So we'll get to that in a minute. They do respond to a few questions right off the bat. Are these programs safe? What does free actually mean? Is the free file offered by the IRS? So just to get ahead of your questions there. Now, when you click on browse all of the offers, this is the page that shows up. And so what you could do is just type in your AGI, which is your adjusted gross income. You can probably use last year's numbers from your tax return. Your age, if you think you're eligible for the earned income tax credit. If you don't know what that is, I would suggest you highlight this and you search it in the IRS website so you can learn more about that. If you're active military, and then the state of the residence. When you click on apply filters, it'll kind of filter it down for you. You can also just browse through the different services they have here and see kind of like which one's right for you. You can see that they give the options of what is included. Okay, so the previous screen said that there was an IRS free file online lookup tool. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that tool. And I actually like this. I did this online lookup tool recently, and I thought it was really helpful. The results kind of narrow it down to the options that you would browse from basically, but it's going to be a little more specific to you. So for Mrs. needs to file her tax return, she's going to be married filing jointly. Select the person you expect to list first as the primary tax person. So you could say myself or my spouse. And then all fields, so you just enter your age. Let's say she's 35. And then your adjusted gross income. Now, if Mrs. needs to file her taxes, she has her wages all ready to go. She can enter that in. She can also enter in the self-employment gross income. And let's just go ahead and put in, okay. Now let's see, okay, oh, she has student loans. Now this is gonna be the interest deduction, so it's on the 1089E that we talked about, so let's say that's $1,200. And, oh, when I say we talked about that in previous videos, obviously not in this video. Okay, so AGI is 58,800. Let's click on next. And then let's just go ahead and say 1. Please confirm that you are eligible. We're going to say no. And then let's say California. No. And then it'll give you the results. So now this next one here is Tax Act. So this is one of the things that you need to consider when you're looking at these free file options is that there could be an upcharge if you start adding in more forms. So like if you have mortgage interest, it's going to be an upcharge. So it won't end up being free, but it could still be a good option for you if that is within your budget. So you can go ahead and click on view this offer and it'll take you directly to Tax Act. And one of the things I like about these types of software or apps, or whatever you want to call them, is that, okay, so here we go. If you qualify for free federal, you can also qualify for free state in these states. Otherwise, it's $19.95. One of the things I like about this service is that you can have it's kind of self-directed. You can use it as a self-directed option, or you can say, give me more information. There's also like a support team that they say, they're here to help. You can check the status of your return. And then there's the 2020 IRS free file program. So I just want to make sure that you have that caveat that it is going to be an upcharge, or some states will charge you as well. The next option I want to talk about is the Vita program. Now, here's a fun fact. When I was in grad school, way back when, I participated in this program. So Vita it stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Now, this is a service that the IRS sponsors to allow people to file their taxes for free. Now, this year, 2021, is a little different just because of COVID, so some of the sites are temporarily closed. However, if you go ahead and click on the locator tool, you type in your, add your zip code, and then you say within, whatever mileage, you might actually come up with a few places that you can go to get your taxes filed. So you would actually have to physically go there with your documents. If you haven't seen that video, I'm linking all of my taxes video series in the description box. I'll also go ahead and link all these websites if I haven't said that already. Okay, so the Vita program is going to be for people who fit this criteria right here. So the Vita program has operated for over 50 years, which is incredible. You have to generally make $57,000 or less. Persons with disability, limited English speaking taxpayers who need assistance in preparing their own tax return. So again, what I want to make sure that you understand is this is a volunteer program. And so I think it's like on a first come, first serve basis, but just make sure that you get there early if you do want to do one of these programs to get your tax return done. When I did it, it was so easy. There was a group of us that were filing taxes there at my college, And, people would just come in, we'd, review their taxes, file their taxes for them, and then they would leave. It was kind of a really seamless option. You can also call this number here if you have any questions on that. So I highly recommend this option if that is something that you are interested in. Now, the last one that I want to talk about is TurboTax. So this is probably the one that I'm most familiar with because I've actually used TurboTax before. And I will say, I'll send you guys this link, but they have this, here it is. They have this offered at 50% off right now. I don't know when, how long that's going to be 50% off, but that's a pretty good deal. And I would highly recommend that if this is something you are interested in using TurboTax for your self-employed income, that you do it ASAP, because I don't know how long that offer is going to stay. But if you're just, for a simple tax return, you can actually file for free with TurboTax, which is awesome. So again, there will be another upcharge if you start adding on more forms, like if you received the mortgage interest or the student loans or whatever else, there will be an upcharge. So just know that ahead of time. Try to do as much research as you can. Again, we'll send you all of the links in the description box below. One of the things that they do offer too is, if you select this little button here, it'll give you options for someone to do your tax return live. So, I have reached out to support on TurboTax before through their chat, and they've been able to go into my computer and figure out what went wrong or if there was a question. So I will say that their support team is pretty good, and I did appreciate those times when I needed to access their support, that they were there pretty much whenever I was working on it. So yeah, it's kind of nice how they have support at all hours of the day. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is how it's possible that you could hire a CPA or an EA, which is an enrolled agent, or an accountant, a tax accountant, to do your tax return. But I'm going to tell you, this is going to be the most expensive option. So if you can DIY your tax return, I would definitely recommend it. Again, I would highly recommend any of these free e-file options through the IRS. And if you are going to go the route of a CPA or an EA or a tax accountant, I would highly suggest that you ask your trusted friends or family if they know of a CPA or a tax accountant. I think referrals are going to be your best option there. All right, now that we know how to file our taxes, we're just going to go ahead and get started, and I'll see you on the other side of our tax returns. All right, friends, see, it is just that easy to get started with your tax return. So I think we should all just go ahead and get our taxes done, right? I mean, why wait any longer? But however, with that said, if you still have questions and you still kind of need maybe some one-on-one advice, some one-on-one kind of like screen flows, I do have a service available for budget consulting calls. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the link below for that, so you can schedule a time with me on my calendar and we can talk through whatever specific questions you have about your budget, about your finances, about your accounting, bookkeeping, whatever the case may be. And I'm here to help you along the way to make sure that you can feel confident about doing your bookkeeping, about doing your finances. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that you give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future videos. And if this video resonates with you and you feel like you would like to share it with your friends and family who are, in this type of situation, please share it. Don't hesitate. Again, go ahead and click the link below for the budget consulting call, and I am just an email away. I'll see you guys in the next video.